No one had spoken out against the regime. She was 22 or so. Next slide, please. As we know, though, at least I read this in the guidelines.
What year did you say she was born?
I think it was 42. This is the only piece I've done in this series that has humor in it. It's called Italian Jewish resistance hero Eugenio Curiel, Castel Sant'Angelo, which is Hadrian's tomb in Rome at the upper left, and my flying chi, Obi Juju Kenobi, which is the kind of wind-up battery-operated chicken toy at the upper right there. The takeoff on Star Wars. Can't quite get it focused, but that's okay. Next slide, please.
I just made my head that's focus.
Yeah. And next slide here. Next slide.
See how many fine focus there?
That's it, you like it. This head here is the upper left, kind of multiple image from a lino cut I did of a now deceased. I work part-time at the Seattle Public Library as a clerk. Library patron of mine, who he and his wife were refugees from Vienna, and they lived in Seattle for decades. After his wife died, he moved back to Vienna, where he spent the last couple of years, and I visited him there in '99 on my way to my first trip to Israel. Then I went to this conference at Yad Vashem. Next slide, please. His mother had been murdered at Auschwitz. The men from Warsaw Ghetto photographs on the right. That's Alex there, my deceased friend, in the lower right there. Next slide, please. I don't know if you're familiar with the term chi. It's like a West African term for like a person with God. I was reading a book by this West African author, Chebe. At the time, I was working on the drawing, which is how that part of the title came along. Next slide, please. This is Robert Desnos, French anti-Nazi activist who was widely known throughout much of Western Europe as a writer and poet. He was not Jewish, was in different labor camps in Germany. When liberation came, he was on a forced march near Terezin, where he ended up being cared for by nurses and doctors among the prisoners who were in the camp who were still alive, and he died of typhoid or typhus in the camp. Next slide, please. My great-grandmother again, also on the hammock. This is a most recent piece. I've just moved the series. What's that? We don't know. I asked. I think it was I asked someone at the Holocaust Museum in D.C. or someone at Yad Vashem what happened. The Bialystok ghetto was liquidated between February 5th and 12th, 1942. I don't know if she was still alive at that point. If she was, they were all sent off to Treblinka for the most part. I read that a few thousand Jews were executed in a woods outside of Bialystok. She died somewhere or other. My grandfather in New Jersey had corresponded with her until the war. Then there was nothing after that, according to my mother. This is a man named, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Buok Peach, P-E-A-C-H. He was a Cambodian. I don't know the age, background, anything. He was murdered at a killing center that was in a high school in Phnom Penh in 1977 called S21. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. I decided to bring the series into more contemporary types of issues, especially for so many of today's students of the Shoah. It's like, once we're talking about the Civil War, it's time. This is an infant, an unnamed Vietnamese infant who had hydroencephalitis. He was born in November 1998 in a village in Vietnam, a result of Agent Orange dioxin from the Vietnam War years. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And the most kind of recent depiction of along these lines. This is a boy named Benjamin Hermanson. He was a 15-year-old black-skinned Norwegian. His father was from Ghana. His mother was white Norwegian. He was murdered, he was stabbed to death by a so-called neo-Nazi group called the Boot Boys in Oslo in January '91. A year before, he had been harassed by some white punks at a soccer match. And last year of his life, he got involved in some sort of after-school anti-racism group. And then, wrong place at the wrong time in terms of the Boot Boys, where he was murdered. Next slide, please. These sorts of incidents, as I say, happen more and more throughout Europe. Next slide, please. A Jewish cemetery in Bucharest. Leviu Adrian Peshet, October 20th, 1925, August 17th, 1945. This is a gravestone sculpture. He died at a camp, a concentration camp for Romanian Jews that was in Ukraine. Yeah. Also like typhus. Haifa, I don't know what the difference is actually. This is from the book I mentioned before, The Art of Hatred, published by the Jewish Museum of Florida. Dade County Hate Group.
Did you white out the phone number?
I don't know who removed it. If it was the museum or what. I visit West Palm Beach 2 or 3 times a year. See my mom, and there's been at least one instance in the recent last decade of this sort of hate group leafleting in neighborhoods around where a lot of Jewish folks live. Next slide, please. Ending on a more upbeat note, this is from a presentation I gave with 5th grade American students at elementary school in Columbia, Missouri. The Missouri Conservation Department loaned us 50 duck wings. Every kid, next slide, please, got a wing to draw from. Next slide, please. It was interesting to see what they did.
And you will get wings too, guys.
One of the bottom workshops can be slightly different.
One of the bottom
use
lines
Kentucky Fried Chicken instead.
Next slide, please. I like this one. This is Anna's. So we've got the girl with the full-length dress, the Star of David, and what I presume to be is her like pets, you know, the rabbit and the dog.
Dog looks like a grasshopper.
Dog looks like a grasshopper. Interesting. That is the slideshow. Thank you. And then I asked you what you thought.
I can offer you an answer.
Sure, let's hear.
I understood this as being people would like to be able to just pick up and fly away.
Right.
And you would like to, as it were, maybe give them that.
Metaphoric flight for viewers today that they were denied in real life. Also, no, basically, when I did the
My
first...
7-year-old daughter was
Yeah.
really learning about the Shoah and Kita Aleph and having a hard time. Like she sort of discovered that the Shoah happened.
Uh-huh.
And she starts asking me questions, Daddy, did they want to be there?
Mm-hmm.
She's got this picture book of Anna Frank. Said, Daddy, did Anna Frank want to be there? Did she want the Germans to catch her? Did she want to go to the camp? And it's hard for her to understand the idea that somebody is being forced to do something completely against her will.
There's a...
Which doesn't happen in our house.
Tell her to wait.
In our household.
Tell her to wait 3 months.
No, we don't.
She'll understand it then.
When I was at Yad Vashem last time, 3 years ago, I attended a workshop by a survivor who, maybe you're familiar with, she writes children's picture books. Like for kindergarten, first, second graders, third graders, about the Shoah. I can't remember her name now, Dagat or something like that. She has like books published in 7 languages in different countries now. I was kind of astonished at the time because I had never thought of doing anything with audiences, like school kids younger than like American 5th graders, I don't know, 10 or so. And she said that the youngsters are getting all sorts of violence and education, whatever, on all kinds of subjects. Why not introduce this to them at that age? Book she said that she had was going to be published later that year. Was called something like Chico the Dog in the Ghetto. Have you seen any books for this age range?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen any in the States yet, but that doesn't mean that they're not around.
It's in English books.
Yeah.
The Sefer Torah, there was a great one about the Sefer Torah that was...
Yeah, no.
Hmm? No. Somebody I knew from 10 or 15 years ago. Children's book of the whole Shoah is told through the perspective of the Sefer Torah that spent the Shoah in a dungeon in the basement. And all the Jews who used to dance with it and all of that.
The Yad Vashem now, the guys see somebody bringing somebody young and they ask how old the person is. They'll break it and they say, this isn't recommended to people. So they really tried not to let this one guy that was down already.
With the expert group we took, Agnon, he said, I usually don't take them to the last part, the final solution part of the museum. I just take them up to there, but I usually don't ask if you use good things like all names.
8th graders?
I said these kids, I said these kids have been learning about Holocaust since
Been there, done
Yeah.
that.
For the 8th graders, they guided for the 12th graders, guided for the first little bit, and then what goes themselves. Yeah. Since the group already dispersed, it was kind of like that. It's very easy self-guiding.
No, the question is...
I'll let you do it. We can raise it.
Meters from where the museum begins. If you come with a vehicle, they tell you to park in the, they tell you to park in the parking lot of Mount Herzl. And if you come with a bus, you have to be on their list to be able to get in. So it's a very different thing than what we're used to.
Some of that will probably calm down once everybody's seen the new one and they go back to normal.
Not a big...
They might be addicted to the money, to the income.
No, the guiding, they're going to probably keep talking about with the parking lot.
No, there's no place for cars to park. There's no place for cars.
So do we have to pay?
Yeah, that's not a big difference.
Now you have to pay for that admission? There's an admission fee to get in
No.
the grounds, or just
No.
this new museum?
There's no admissions fee. It's against the law to have an admissions fee.
If you're an individual,
They
you
force
can-
us to have a madrid, a guide, and then you have to pick the guide.
An individual who turns up at Yad Vashem.
Just walking, just walking.
But if like a group comes in, like in a van or bus or whatever.
I know what you're thinking.
No, you can't do that because you have to walk in from Mount Herzl.
Can't do what, I'm early in mine as well. Can't do what? I didn't have-
Have the bus driver going out.
He has this, I know how to get around it, mischievous look in his eye. We'll take the 40 kids and we'll say,
One by one.
go down 2s and 3s with 1 minute intervals between you.
Right. Huh. So nobody draws here, is that right? That's good.
The only subject I left out.
Early, okay.
I felt shocked. It's the same, it's spatial right brain. I failed homeroom.
That's tough. Yeah.
Homeroom.
How the hell do you do that? Just joking.
No, I did not do it.
How can you fail homeroom?
I had a special relationship with the teacher there.
For that, she punished you?
No, special, like special ed, special K.
Special KKK? punished you for who you were, not what you did.
So the exercise is not to see how well you draw or don't draw. Keep that forefront of your brains here. Everyone gets a sheet of paper. We're going to do two different exercises. You have crayons.
That's this one. These are great crayons.
Are they?
Very pretty. They're not, not the usual Crayola.
Yeah, these are nice.
These are all kind of test off.
You bought them here. This is what a box of Israeli crayons looks like.
It colors into the line.
I always buy my grandchildren Crayola. I overcompensate. When I was a little kid going to school, I only had the 8 box. Best to 16. So there's a 96. I got my grandchildren.
Oh, there were 32.
The one with the sharpener and the force. Well, now there are 96s. Isn't that great?
I hate them.
You hate crayons?
Yeah, because I could never get the color in between the lines of whatever I was supposed to draw.
That's why you don't
That
try it.
explains a lot.
You can keep it. You can keep it on the page, right?
That's why you get such a shot with the gun, you can get that in between the lines.
So this is the second time I've done this workshop. I did this a few weeks ago with a class of about, I don't know, 10 students at Pacific Lutheran University, German Language Literature Department in Tacoma, Washington. And the professor also participated. There was a couple of surprising things happened in terms of my expectations. Nobody failed.
Both presidents failed?
Actually, the professor sat for a while. She couldn't think of what to draw in response. Finally, she began drawing. 2 students actually sat there and sat there and sat there like they were, nothing came to mind. I kind of chatted with both of them separately. Kind of try to get them focused just on choosing something from among the topics I'll give you. And those 2 did fairly simple responses in terms of visual complexity of the drawing. And the other students varied. What surprised me was that when I think of crayons, maybe this is how I used them as a kid, I like to, like, almost like pummel them into the wall. You can get like rich, dark lines.
Try that. I'm going to be happy.
Really? Yeah.
I had a art collection time.
And every one of them, all the students, the professor, they all use the crayons like really lightly, as if they were working with like a light pencil. So that was the opposite of what I anticipated on that end. As to what each one drew, well, I won't go into that, but because we'll see what you all do in response. If the Holocaust was, I'm going to name 5 things here. You'll choose one and then draw your response. If the Holocaust was a building, an article of clothing, an animal, weather, a meal. I can write this down for you, too, if you want.
I'm done.
You said it's a meal.
Go for it. A building, article of clothing, animal, weather, a meal. And you're on.
Snowman. You have to return.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to do a little sandwich here. I'm happy that I've seen it. Let's go into shop.
We're just going to take the black, or there is no black. You need the black?
contemplating over there?
Yes, thank you.
Take us through the supermarket. It's okay.
I had late garden last night.
I'm finished with the black.
You having trouble coming up with an idea in response to any of these?
I don't have a problem with the idea, I have a problem putting it on the paper.
Draw emotive response. Make believe you're in first grade again. Again, the composition perspective, none of that, you know. You're not being graded here, I say just do it. What's your name?
Ruben.
Ruben. What comes to mind? You don't need to answer this out loud. I think this is, to me, it would be somewhat of an easy one. You think of the Shoah. Think of weather. Weather, atmospheric. What comes to mind?
Starry, starry night.
Don't cut your off. It's not. Fried eggs?
There's a place.
I can't.
You're right.
There's no way.
Here.
I can't what?
I'm trying to a wounded animal, there's no way I can do it.
You're right.
Let's try. Close your eyes and
I
do it.
did, I can't.
Okay.
That's very good.
They're badly wounded animal. You want to be your mother?
Minimalist.
Is that what you said your mother did? She laughed? She cracked up.
So you never got anything on the refrigerator?
No, my teacher sent all my drawings to my most registered mail, she said,
Okay, how do I do white?
I'm done.
How do I do a stove top?
What do you mind?
My stove top.
Anyone ever tell you that white doesn't show up on white? Here's, I get back to ugly.
You know what he's doing? He's mixing the colors from different shades. You gotta divide them together.
I didn't take anything.
Yep. Where's the blue right here?
The what?
Blue. That's the blue?
Follow
Blue. Go down the hall,
Go to the hall,
you see
go
the sign
straight.
WC.
See the sun?
It says WC.
Get out of here, really?
That's how we teach the kids what a water closet is.
Oh, I thought it said Winston Churchill.
The water closet.
I think Rich.
You know how I know that?
They're black here.
Because in 1958, Jack Parr almost lost his position on the Tonight Show. So you see me telling a joke about a water closet.
Is there blue
What?
or white?
Telling a joke about a water closet.
Really?
So in order to understand the big to-do, I need to know what a water closet was.
Not the back.
No.
This is an arrow.
I'm actually not so unhappy with this.
This is very
Oh,
good.
the church.
Alan did
It's not the church.
Alan did es gibt kein jüdische Kirche. Oh, mehr.
Yeah, exactly.
How does that like this?
What was that?
Es gibt
Why?
kein jüdischer
Building
Fehlteil
underneath
mehr.
it goes.
There's no more Jewish quarter. Okay. Yeah.
So which one of those five is that?
Excuse me?
Which one of the five is this?
Like what?
Choices you have.
This is atmosphere.
Fire and rain and storm.
Surrounded by black.
Don't, whatever you do, don't tell them that I actually.
Flames surrounded by black.
All right.
Okay, guys?
Is that a wounded worm?
Excuse me. We're not making judgmental comments on other people's
Okay.
work here.
Does anybody know what story this is? Alec? Yossi? Do anybody know what story this is? Yossi? This is a story that we know. Has to do with food.
Everything has to do with food or sex.
What's that green thing?
It's supposed to be a bell pepper.
Oh. I don't know any stories about bell peppers. I'm sure I don't know any Holocaust stories.
I bet you do.
About bell
I
peppers.
bet you do. But we'll wait.
In New York, that's how we bit.
Right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Okay, I can send it out, I work up there.
My teacher was.
Just remember this when you're grading the posters of the
I
design.
think that's a wonderful idea.
What, to remember this when you're grading the
No.
posters of the design?
So put these up on the other wall behind you.
The women queen of the church conquering the broken Jewish woman who was blindfolded with the broken scepter, and in effect I think that was licensed to the Holocaust, and it's on the front of every church, and people sit in front of Notre Dame or every other church I saw in Europe and look at that, and that's the message what it represents. And the sun continues to shine because the Jews get massacred throughout history, and God and the world don't care, and life goes on, and the sun comes up. And I don't think that's not
what he's referring to.
the Jewish politically correct term for this event in Jewish history is night, Elie Wiesel. And I think the problem is that thinking of at night as some black period in world history is why it happens. And that it's because it's a normal happening, the normal human beings, the sun comes up and they massacre Jews, and that's normal, and that's the sickness of the world, not that it's night. Because night, if it could happen night, that's an excuse, and that's a way to explain yourself out of, you know, not dealing with the Holocaust. But it happened in sunshine.
Thank you. Anyone want to respond to this? Either Drew or
Why don't you put the red in the sun?
Because a happy, bright, brilliant sun.
I like
but
what you're
also
trying to get
the-
across, and I certainly can't comment on the drawing.
I'm sorry,
How many synagogues are there with that image? I mean, I know the image, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
image.
the same image, but in different forms all over the place.
what was that? There was one on Charles Bridge, wasn't there?
Not that, but
No,
there
no.
was this one of the enemies of Christendom, which included what, dogs,
Muslims, Turks,
and
and
Jews.
You're talking about sculpture figures?
Right.
Where, which?
Yes.
on the Charles Bridge.
Right.
Actually, two different ones on Charles Bridge.
It's in Paris?
No, in Prague. Also, but that there are a number of different versions of what Yossi's showing.
Notre Dame is maybe the most prominent, famous, but I saw scores of them in Rome, in Paris, in
I always thought there was one, but it turns out
in
it's all over the
Barcelona,
place.
in Madrid.
I didn't hear all your response about the red and the sun there.
Partially just that it's a lively sun, and also maybe beyond that, it's the fire of the sun that.
It's interesting, because when I look at it,
The fires of hell are from the sun and not from the darkness.
Right. It almost looks like thorns to me. So kind of, yeah, something shooting out these,
Yossi, I thought it was
thanks. This way or this way?
Go to Dolly.
Go to Dolly.
Or something like that.
Oh, I can see the third one.
That, of course.
Potato bones.
That's moldy bread.
Yeah. Right, sort of coffee.
What's the brown thing on the bottom?
And in the center, it's like a cup or bowl.
A cup of coffee, like whatever they call that,
Uh-huh.
that jump that they call it.
What does it say? in
There's
Holocaust?
Chocolate.
In Hebrew it says potato, which is bon appetit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, okay, you want to get down to the film? When I think of food in the Holocaust, I think of reminds me of two different things. One is someone that we all know, her name is Hannah Greenfield, who talked when she wrote once about she went to the WB trial. She talks about the memories of infinite hunger that she had. But I once heard a survivor by the name of Anushka. Remember Anushka? And she talked about how they came upon 3 green peppers.
I don't remember that story.
And her mother started making soup. This is the murder. Her mother started making soup, and she set 2 places. Anushka set 2 places at the table for her and her mother. And as the soup was almost ready to be brought to the table, these are the holes. There was a knock at the door. And Anushka went to answer the
store. There was an old lady who asked if she could, she smelled food and she was starving. She asked if she could partake. And Mishka says, there's no food to be able to slam the door in her face. And her mother turned around and said, Mishka goes to the third place. I went to the table, went to the door, I brought the lady back in to eat. That's the,
I just didn't remember the peppers.
that's,
I remember the story.
so that's when we think of the Holocaust and food, that's what goes into the food.
And she was cooking green peppers, is it?
They even did put the seeds in. And actually, as a result of that story, I said one day, I think I'll put some green peppers in, a green pepper in the soup. And it has such a powerful taste. It's a tremendous addition to the soup.
But they're toxic. No, green peppers.
So it's
Green peppers are
Nightshade.
Yes, they're unripe vegetables. There are toxins in them that have not been transformed into active versions of it. Okay. I remember when I was given at the end of the army a present of one of the guard dogs that they have was given to me as a present by the commander. And his words were, might be a guard dog, but it is already too domesticated. It has to be given water, it has to be given food. You're taking a responsibility upon yourself. You are thirsty, you go to the faucet and open the faucet. The animal can't. And what I wanted to do was basically, the Jews were too domesticated and couldn't take care of themselves either. Like the animal like the domesticated animals that wants to be taken, we were too domesticated. I was trying to draw an animal with pieces, I can't.
You're an animal with what?
With pieces, a helpless animal with pieces ripped out of it, but.
The officer of the SS puppies used to strangle as the graduation for the SS.
Sorry, no time to put it on paper.
Well, you started. Higher than like.
Youth or SS?
Gotta start somewhere. Anyone respond in any which way?